And now it's time for our interview of an interesting person. Today's guests are going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Lindsay Bettis. So Lindsay does a lot of things, along with going to school and competing in the Miss America competition. So you also dance. And currently holds the title of Miss Orlando.
I am. So I do dance. I was on the University of Central Florida dance team for all 4 years. And I am very excited that I was a part of that team, but now I'm officially done with the dance team since I did my 4 years of eligibility.
Wow. So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
I'm loving it. You're a very exciting host. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, thanks. So what is the best part about being on Miss Orlando?
So I think the best part about being Miss Orlando is the really cool people that I get to meet like you. The other day, actually, I got to have dinner with the Japanese ambassador in downtown Orlando, which is a really cool experience. So I get to meet all sorts of people from all types of different backgrounds.
Okay. So what is being Miss Orlando, and how does one have to get the title?
So I won Miss Orlando back in January, and there are local competitions all over the state, and there are different phases of the competition. So the first part is we do an interview, and then next we do talent, an onstage question, and then we do evening gown. Yeah.
Okay. So is it like a contest?
It is. There are many contestants competing, and then they pick the person with the highest score.
Okay. So how do you win it?
So whoever gets the most points out of all those areas of competition, when they add up, they'll see who has the highest number of points, and then that's the winner.
Okay. So in this competition, you have a platform. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, so my platform is the Best Buddies organization, which what I do with that is I promote inclusion and integration through this organization. And the most important thing that I do is I'm friends to people that have intellectual and developmental disabilities. And this happened because in 4th grade, there was a person with special needs in my class, and I felt very secluded and left out of a lot of things. And I noticed that when he joined the class, he had a similar feeling. So I wanted to be his friend because I think that everyone deserves a friend.
Okay. So when you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always know you were going to be a pageant winner?
Absolutely not. I wanted to be everything from a doctor to an astronaut to where I am now working at a behavioral health care company. So you really never know what you're going to do, but you seem to have a pretty clear idea of the future.
Yes.
So I'm excited for you. But yeah, I did my first pageant when I was 10, but then from there I didn't do it again until college. So I definitely didn't think this was going to be in my future. I always knew about Miss Florida and Miss America, but it was more of a dream than a reality.
Okay. So why did you select this platform over other options like vets or blind people?
Yeah, because of that experience I had in 4th grade, and myself, I have obsessive compulsive disorder, which means that I scrutinize a lot of things, and so I often was left out of a lot of activities at school. So I didn't have very many friends growing up, and I found that through Best Buddies I could always have friends and be a friend for someone else. So
I see you are Miss Apopka and Miss St. Augustine and Daytona Beach as well. So why do you move from city to city?
Yeah, that's a good question. So actually my first title ever was Daytona Beach, and that's because I was going to college in Orlando and my hometown was in St. Augustine. So I thought that was a good middle point where I could represent a city that was in the middle of both of those. And then St. Augustine is my hometown. That's where I go home for holidays and everything and to see my parents. And Apopka was a good title for me because it was in the Central Florida area. But I feel like finally I get to represent the city of Orlando where I actually reside, and I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm. So do you plan to keep going and be Miss Universe?
So this is a common question that I get, but actually there's 2 different organizations. There's the Miss USA organization and the Miss America organization. So the difference between the 2 is that the Miss America organization is a scholarship-based competition, and so we actually only go to Miss America and that's it. But the Miss USA competition would be the one to go on to Miss Universe. So if I do win Miss America, that'll be it, but it's a huge deal.
Okay. So of all of the different jobs you do, which is the best?
The best job is the one that I have now, and I work at Advanced Recovery Systems as a business development and marketing intern. And it's really awesome because I get to help people that are struggling.
Okay. So what was the first job you ever had?
The first job I ever had, we're talking paying jobs, was a dog walker in my neighborhood. That's pretty exciting, right?
Mm-hmm. Was there anything you learned from that job that helped you be a better pageant winner?
I think just time management. I had to go over and pet the dog and walk the dog at certain times, which sounds very small, but at a young age, it was a big deal for me. So that kind of transferred into being a pageant winner now and having all these appearances, like coming to see you. I have to be able to plan my time accordingly.
Okay. So if my listeners wanted to grow up being a Miss Orlando, what advice would you give them?
I would say just go for it. When I was little, this is something that I never would have gone for because I was so shy. And I think that if I would have gone for more things when I was younger, I would have had more opportunities at my point of life that I am at now. But I'm really excited that I am Miss Orlando and I get to meet younger girls that possibly want to be Miss Orlando one day and tell them that early on so that they don't hold back.
So when I didn't have my radio show, I was so shy. But now when I heard The Greatest Showman, I'm like, they're not shy at all. And then when I started the radio show right now, I wasn't being shy anymore.
Yeah, I would have never guessed you were ever shy.
So, yes. So, first I was very shy. So, it was very scary. So, like, when I was talking to somebody, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. So,
yeah, I totally understand.
yeah. So, my teacher says that I will use math every day. Did you use math when you were at work?
Yes. And I know it can be agonizing to go to math class every single day and learn your times tables, but you definitely will use it every single day of your life. And I'm sorry if that scares you.
Oh, no worries. Ow.
So I use math a lot when I'm organizing data at work, which is a lot of numbers. And sometimes I'll have to add certain things up and multiply it when I'm making orders. And there's just a bunch of small things you have to do that requires a lot of math.
Okay. So can I tell you how I use math?
I would love to hear.
So I use math by how many shows I do and what date they're doing it. And then if it's on a different day than today, we will still air it on a Wednesday, but we do it on a different day.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is the biggest mistake you ever made? And how did it change you as a person?
I think the biggest mistake I ever made was similar to what I said before. I was so shy, and I wish I hadn't been because there are a lot of opportunities that I missed from being shy. Like, I'm glad that you overcame being shy and having your own radio show because maybe you would have missed this great opportunity. So, really happy for you.
So, when you are not working, what do you do for fun?
So, I do work 40 hours a week. So, finding time to do fun things can be very difficult. Yes. But I grew up in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. So, I love going to the beach whenever I have free time.
Okay. So, what else do you do for fun?
I really like dancing. Like I mentioned, I was on the dance team for 4 years, and while that was kind of a job in itself, I do like going to dance classes whenever I can so that I can really enjoy dancing rather than it being a structured team thing.
Okay. So do you play video games? What's your favorite one?
Alright, so my favorite video game is Mario Kart. Are you good at Mario Kart?
Yes, I am.
Yeah? I'm okay. I'm on and off.
Okay.
But sometimes I get that first place trophy.
I always get that first place trophy.
Yeah. We're gonna have to play each other.
Ooh. Let's see if you're on is on. I am always on.
You're always on?
Uh-huh.
Oh, then it might be your day.
Okay, so what is your favorite book?
My favorite book. I'm trying to think. I think that my favorite book is blanking on the name of it right now. It's called Divergent. That's what it's called. Divergent. Have you ever read that?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But I have seen the movie.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And before the movie ever came out, it was one of my summer reading books. So I got to read that for school, and it's really nice because sometimes schools don't give you the most interesting summer reading books. But as from the movie, you could probably tell that it was a really interesting book, so I really enjoyed it.
Uh-huh, I can tell. Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? Well, remember, this is a kid's show, but that one story that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on.
All right. So have you ever heard of promposals? No? Okay, so when you're in high school, you're going to ask a girl to prom, okay? And maybe you're going to do it in a big, extravagant way, or maybe not. You may keep it simple after you hear this story. But in high school, I had the boy that was asking me to prom. He blindfolded me at the beach and was guiding me somewhere. So he was guiding me somewhere to where he had prom spelt out in candles, where he was going to ask me to prom. But when we were walking there, he was guiding me because I was blindfolded. We were walking there, and he neglected to tell me that there was a flight of stairs. I fell down the flight of stairs when being asked to prom. So, by the time he asked me, I was all bruised up, and I'd just fallen down a flight of stairs. So that's a pretty embarrassing story, if I say so myself.
Wow. Did you say yes?
I did say yes. Yes, we did go to prom together.
Okay. So, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
Yeah, well, as Miss Orlando, I mentioned that it is a scholarship competition. And so, with college being in your future, I'm sure one day, I was able to get about $16,000 in scholarship to use towards my time at UCF. So I think that's really amazing that I'm going to be able to graduate college this summer debt-free, which is a really big deal. So I hope that you're able to get those scholarships in the future too. So keep working at it.
Thanks. Do you have a website or Facebook for my listeners that want to follow you?
So I do have an Instagram, and it's Miss Orlando 2019.
Okay.
And I would love for you to follow.
Okay, Daddy, if you can get Instagram on my phone, I'll follow you.
Awesome. I can't wait. And then we do have a Facebook page. It's the Miss Orlando Scholarship Pageant.
Okay, I'll do that too. So what's the best part about Best Buddies?
I think the best part about Best Buddies is that you'll always have a friend. And I've been in Best Buddies since my freshman year of high school. So the total time I've been in it is about 8 years, and I've made so many friends through the organization. And this year in college, I was actually paired with her since my freshman year of college to my senior year of college. And we actually got to take a class together this year, which was really, really cool.
Ooh, wow. How does it work?
Yeah, so you can go to your local Best Buddies chapter and just pretty much ask to join. There is an application, and pretty much anyone is eligible. You could be a Best Buddy one day. I think it starts in middle school, so that could be something in your future.
Okay. Is there any questions that I didn't ask you that you want me to ask?
Well, I get asked this in my pageant interview a lot, and I thought maybe your listeners would like to hear it. But an interesting fact about me is that I can sing the 50 states in alphabetical order in 15 seconds. So do you want to hear it?
Yes.
All right. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming.
Wow. Wow, that was fast.
I couldn't leave without doing that today.
Why did you clap when you got to Nevada?
So when the song goes slower, there's a certain melody to it. But when I'm going at that speed, there's not much. But there's a break in the song where you are supposed to clap. And I learned that in elementary school, so I always stay with me just to remember the melody of it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I would love to.